So the two most common use cases for variable neutral density filters are one, for long exposure photography, and two, for videography and getting your shutter speed lower to double your frame rate. So let's dive into long exposure photography. The theory here is all we are doing is reducing light in 2 to 5 stops or 6 to 9 stops in order to reduce our shutter speed. The longer our shutter speed is, the more blur motion we're gonna see across any moving objects in the frame. Now, when you add the VND, you don't need to change ISO or aperture. You can keep those locked and fixed at whatever you prefer is gonna make the best composition. So if you're looking to get shutter speed at like 2 to 4 seconds for midday shooting, the 2 to 5 should be pretty good for that. Now, if you're trying to get longer long exposures, like into that 15, 30 second, maybe even minute long range, the 6 to 9 is pretty much gonna be needed in order to cut enough light to get your shutter speed that open. Now let's talk about VNDs and video. So the idea here is we're using our variable neutral density filters to reduce light. Now, what we're trying to do is be able to shoot whatever aperture we want. Usually we want it pretty wide open, so we create that depth of field, and also be able to shoot out in bright light. Now, if you shoot out in bright light, you have wide open aperture, you're gonna have your shutter speed at like 1/1000th or 1/2000th. We don't want that. We wanna shoot with the 180-degree rule of shutter, which means your shutter speed is double your frame rate. So if you're shooting at 24 frames per second, you want your shutter speed at 1/50th. And at this ratio, you're gonna be perceiving motion the same way on your camera, on your film, the same way you perceive it in real life. Now at 1/8000th, it's not. It's gonna look super jittery. You're not gonna get any blur motion with movement. And that's where these VNDs come in, so you can shoot at wide open apertures, cut the light coming in when you're shooting outdoors, and capture that buttery smooth shutter speed ratio. So that's the high level on two use cases for the variable neutral density filters. If you have any questions, of course, shoot us an email. I'm Jeff. We'll see you on the next one.